What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Weekly GCap, the only source you'll ever need to catch up on all the gaming news from the last week. As always, we got quite a couple stories to go through, so let's go ahead and get right into this. First things first, Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle Chomp Champs was announced. This coming early 2024. There's no official release date yet, but it'll be coming to the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series S, and X, Switch, and PC. And if you've been keeping up with like Nintendo news and stuff like that, then you would know that Pac-Man 99 was just recently shut down and, just like taken down, so there's some people speculating that maybe that was in order to kind of clear the way for this game, so then this game could come in and replace it and it wouldn't be like competing against itself. I'm not really sure, but regardless, I'm still excited for this. Next up, just one thing I wanted to highlight is that the RoboCop Rogue City demo is available now. So you can go onto Steam, download it. It's not available on consoles, which is kind of weird, but it is still on Steam. So if you play on PC, you can download it there and try it. It is a bit of a bigger download size, but I will say that I played it and I can highly recommend at least giving it a shot to see if, you'd be interested in the full game, because it was a lot of fun. For our next story, Assassin's Creed Mirage has set a new record. This coming from Ubisoft on Twitter, quote, "Thank you all for joining us on Basim's journey in 9th century Baghdad. We are thrilled by the response from the community and for embracing our homage to the roots of the AC franchise." And then below that, they had an image which reads, "Assassin's Creed Mirage has been out for 6 days now, and we are thrilled by the love and positivity we have received over the last week. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey that celebrates, honors, and builds upon the 15-year legacy of the Assassin's Creed series. We could not have been happier that our Back to the Roots experience has been embraced by the community. With the number of players being in line with past successful launches such as Assassin's Creed Origins and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, we are humbled by the positive reception. We are proud to also share that Assassin's Creed Mirage is the biggest new-gen launch in terms of unit sales to date at Ubisoft for the PS5, Xbox Series X, and S. A big congratulations to the Bordeaux studio and all its partners in this project for this accomplishment. As a final thank you, we'd like to share some exciting community achievements from this first week of Mirage. 479 collective years spent parkouring the rooftops of Baghdad, 60 million leaps of faith, and 1.2 million street cats pet. See you in Baghdad." So I thought that was pretty cool. It's no secret that Assassin's Creed has been taking a bit of a different direction when it comes to its games in recent years, going more for that long 100-hour RPG looter shooter. Well, it's not a looter shooter, but you know what I mean, like the loot systems and stuff like that. They've really been switching it up, really veering away from what most people came to know or what to expect from the series. But Mirage, I already did my playthrough of it, and I can verify that yes, if you were even slightly on the fence about it, if you want a classic AC experience, Mirage is where it's at, and I am beyond thrilled and satisfied with the game that we got. I sat down, I played through it in like literally a day. It's a fantastic game, and I'm just glad that it's being received and is selling well. Hopefully this tells Ubisoft, hey, we want more of this, so hopefully they'll make more of this. Next up, just something I wanted to highlight is that Animal Crossing is doing a crossover with LEGO. This coming from Nintendo on Twitter, which says, quote, "Welcome to LEGO Animal Crossing." And below that, they have the video, which is playing on your screen, and yeah, I don't know. Growing up, I've always loved LEGO, and I've also always loved Animal Crossing. So for me, in my mind, this is a match made in cozy heaven. I already know I'm gonna buy this LEGO set. I'm gonna set it up on my desk. I'm gonna get it, just set up next to me, just so while I'm working, I got those cozy vibes. Because I already keep a bunch of Legos on my desk as is while I'm working. Like I got like Lego Ninjago and Lego Star Wars sets and stuff just sitting up here. So yeah, LEGO Animal Crossing, it'll be joining the collection. Next up, just another one of those things that I wanted to highlight is that Super Mario Bros. Wonder had some previews go live. Like there was a bunch of like gaming websites and gaming YouTube channels that got their hands on the game and were able to like put up videos of it, so you can go watch those. But if you want to play the game for yourself, unfortunately, you cannot go into the eShop and get the demo. But if you go out to select retailers like, GameStop, Best Buy, Target, etc., they have demos available at kiosks. Gosh, it makes me feel so old having to say this, but I remember back in the day, when there's new games coming out for like the Xbox 360 or PS3 or whatever, like the Call of Duty 2 demo, for example, that I remember seeing out at kiosks and stuff like that, or just any new game. They'd always have those demos going at the kiosks, and for some systems they'd even have it so you could like switch between demos. So it's cool seeing that come back in the form of like Super Mario Bros. Wonder, all these demo switch systems at the stores. But yeah, if you want to play the game, just go out to like Target or GameStop or one of those other retailers that has the demo available, and you can play for yourself. Next up, this isn't official, but we do believe that Pokemon Bank will be shutting. Well, we know it'll be shutting down, but this kind of just seemed to be like an unofficial announcement of it. So this coming from Play Pokemon on Twitter, quote, "Nintendo 3DS online services will be discontinued in April 2024. While Pokemon Bank can be used beyond that date, we encourage players to transfer their Pokemon to Pokemon Home at their earliest convenience," end quote. So yeah, that kind of says to me that they're going to be shutting it down. So if you have anything in Pokemon Bank still and you want to transfer it over, I would do that ASAP. Next up, this is a story that we should have been talking about months ago, yet for some reason we're talking about it 5 months after launch, and that is Redfall finally got a performance mode. Gosh, the state of game launches is just, anyway, well, that's a topic for another day. Anyway, this coming from Bethesda, quote, Redfall's Game Update 2 is here. This patch brings a performance mode, Xbox Series X and S, stealth takedowns, new controller settings, accessibility improvements, and much more. Explore an even more dangerous Redfall with an increased open-world enemy population and new encounters. Read on for the full list of fixes and additions included in the update, which we're not going to do because I couldn't care less to do it. Anyway, if you're waiting to play Redfall till there was like a 60 FPS mode, well, 5 years, or 5 months, well, it feels like 5 years, but 5 months later, you can finally do it. Next up, Sony was hacked again. They really gotta sub out their security over there, man. It's hasn't been good for them. Anyway, this coming from Bleeping Computer. Quote, Sony Interactive Entertainment has notified current and former employees and their family members about a cybersecurity breach that exposed personal information. The company sent the data breach notification to about 6,800 individuals. 6,800 people. Man, that is just an insane number. Anyway, confirming that the intrusion occurred after an unauthorized party exploited a zero-day vulnerability in the Move It transfer platform. Then we scroll down and they go on to explain some of the history and technicalities of the hack, but then we scroll down a bit further and to where they say Sony says the incident was limited to the particular software platform and had no impact on any of its other systems. Still, sensitive information belonging to approximately 6,791 people in the US was compromised. End quote. So that is insane. Again, as far as we know, this doesn't pertain to any customers, so, you don't gotta worry if you use PlayStation or any other, like, Sony thing. Your information should be safe, but this mainly just applies to, like, employees and former employees and such. But still, man, that is insane. Almost 6,800, literally just 9 off from it, like 6,800 people. That is just an absolutely insane number. I hope everybody's, like, okay after this hack. Hopefully nobody had any, like, very critical or personal information. I mean, obviously there was some personal information stolen, but I hope it wasn't anything too critical. Yeah, this really sucks. I hope Sony steps up their security, because this is like the second hack in 2 weeks, man. Next up, the PS5 Slim, not Slim revision was announced. They're not calling it a PS5 Slim. It is a PS5 Slim, but they aren't calling it that. They're basically replacing the old PS5 with this. It's pretty interesting. Especially considering how many PS5s are already out in the wild. But anyway, this coming from PlayStation Blog, quote, as the holiday season approaches, we are excited to share that we have a new PS5 model launching. To address the evolving needs of players, our engineering and design teams collaborated on a new form factor that provides greater choice and flexibility. The same tech features that make PS5 the best to play are packed into a smaller form factor, along with an attachable Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive and a 1TB SSD for more internal storage, which is much better than the current really weird odd number of 825 gigabytes. No clue why they ever went with that. They should have just went with 1TB from day one. But anyway, the new PS5 has been reduced in volume by more than 30% and weight by 18% and 24% compared to the previous models. There are 4 separate cover panels with the top portion and a glossy look. Rolling my eyes right now. Why glossy plastic? We need to stop. Consoles should only be matte. There's no reason for them to be glossy. They look nice for the first day. After that, not so much. Anyway, while the bottom remains in matte, thank God. If you purchase the PS5 Digital Edition, you can add the Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive for PS5 later, as it will also be sold separately for $79.99. The new PS5 model will be available starting this November in the US at select local retailers and direct.playstation.com where available. It will continue to roll out globally in the following months. Once inventory of the current PS5 model is sold out, the new PS5 will become the only model available. The recommended retail prices for the new PS5 model are as follows, beginning with the rollout in November at participating retailers. PS5 with Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive will be $499.99 USD, and the PS5 Digital Edition will be $449.99 USD. So if you buy it without the disc drive, just digital, $450. Buy it with the disc drive, $500. Or you could buy the digital version for $450 and buy the disc drive later for $80, which brings the total up to $530. So needless to say, just buy the disc version, okay? Another thing worth noting is that the system, it doesn't matter what, version you get, it's only going to come with a horizontal stand. You have to buy the vertical stand separately for $29.99 USD. Very strange, considering in all of the marketing material, they show it standing vertically, which would mean that you would think that it's meant to be stood up vertically, or that they would at least give you an option to do so out of the box. but you're gonna have to spend an extra 30 there. So if you buy everything separately, you get a digital edition PS5, and then you buy the disc drive later on, and then you get the stand. We're looking at what, 480 plus? Yeah, that's like $560. I mean, obviously it's a bit cheaper if you just go ahead and get the disc version and then buy the vertical stand later for $530 total. But yeah, I was hoping that it would be a little bit cheaper, but when you look at it realistically, it's actually gone up in price, because sure, you can buy the disc drive separately now, but the digital edition before was only $399.99, whereas now it's $449.99. So prices actually haven't changed, and considering that you have to buy the vertical stand separately, in a way, they've actually kind of gone up. And for our next story, we got like a whole lot of Sony stuff to talk about, as you guys can probably tell, and you know, we're nowhere near the end of it. We still got quite a couple Sony stories to go. But anyway, Sony launched a new movie streaming service. They kind of just like shadow dropped this, really. There wasn't really much lead up to it. It's called Sony Pictures Core, and PS Plus Premium members actually get access to not only it, but some select free movies inside of it, like some of the Resident Evil movies, and there were some other movies that they had on there. I can't remember off the top of my head, but not every movie is free. Like, there is some movies that, or there's actually a lot of movies that you have to pay for. It's more or less, most of it is like a buy or rent service. But there's a few select movies that are free if you happen to have PS Plus Premium. Otherwise, you don't need PS Plus Premium to access the service. It's available to anyone. It's just that if you have Premium, obviously you get like a few bonus movies for free. It's a cool little service. I used it for a bit, you know, just check out like the streaming quality and the movie selection, and yeah, it's most of like the Sony Pictures stuff that you would expect. And if you are a premium member, like I said, they do got some like the Resident Evil movies and some other decent action movies on there. So, and some of the old school Godzilla movies. That was another one that I saw that got me really excited, because I have a lot of nostalgia for the old school Godzilla movies. So, you know, if you have PS Plus Premium, it's worth checking out. Otherwise, you would have to spend a little bit of money to either rent movies or buy movies or what have you. Next up, while we're talking about streaming services, Sony is getting ready to launch another streaming service on top of the one that we just talked about. It'll actually be launching this month. So this coming from PlayStation blog, quote, starting this month, we will begin launching cloud streaming access for supported PS5 digital titles within the PlayStation Plus game catalog and game trials, as well as supported titles in the PS5 game library that PlayStation Plus Premium members own. Select PS5 games will be available for streaming, and we're planning to have hundreds of PS5 titles to support this new benefit. This includes top PS5 hits from the PlayStation Plus game catalog, such as Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, Horizon Forbidden West, Ghost of Tsushima, Mortal Kombat 11, and Saints Row 4. Game trials for PS5 games such as Hogwarts Legacy, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and The Callisto Protocol. An amazing game, by the way. So underrated. I love The Callisto Protocol. Literally one of my favorite horror games of all time. I'm sorry for the random gushing, but I can't help it. I'm tired of people hating on the game, man. It don't deserve the hate. It's so good. But anyway, going on, it says additional PS5 digital titles PlayStation Plus Premium members own that will be available for streaming, such as Resident Evil 4, Dead Island 2, Genshin Impact, Fall Guys, and Fortnite. These are just a few examples of supported PS5 games that will include a cloud streaming option in addition to download. And then they go on to explain some of the details about specific game features for the service, but then we scroll down a little bit further to where, you know, they detail like the rollout dates across various regions, where they say, quote, since this will be a large undertaking for our teams to roll out, we plan to launch regionally through a phased approach. Here are the launch dates we are currently targeting in local times. Japan targeting October 17th, Europe targeting October 23rd, North America targeting October 30th. Cloud streaming through PS Plus Premium is currently available in Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Canada, Croatia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Republic of Cyprus, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, United Kingdom, and United States, end quote. So if you live in any of those regions, you either do have access or will have access to soon PlayStation Plus Premium streaming. Next up, let's keep talking about Sony, because they revealed the October PS Plus Extra and Premium games. We'll just go ahead and rattle all these off, those being for the Extra tier: Gotham Knights, The Dark Pictures Anthology, House of Ashes, Disco Elysium, The Final Cut, Far Changing Tides, Gungrave Gore, Elite Dangerous, Dead Island Definitive Edition, Alien Isolation, Outlast 2, Eldest Souls, and Roki. And then for Premium, we have Tekken 6, Soul Calibur Broken Destiny, Ape Escape Academy, and IQ Final. If I could give some specific recommendations, I would say probably from the Extra tier, The Dark Pictures, Disco Elysium, Gotham Knights. Yeah, honestly, you know, now that I'm looking through it, I mean, all of those are actually, like, really good selections. I was gonna try to pick some out that would be good for Halloween, but honestly, there's just a lot of great games there for both the Extra and Premium tiers, so yeah, we're eating good this month. And for our final story, the Unity CEO was removed from the company. So, This coming from Business Wire, quote, Unity, the world's leading platform for creating and growing real-time 3D content, today announced that John Riccitiello will retire as President and Chief Executive Officer. Now, I will mention that I don't know if he's actually retiring or if he was kicked out of the company, because as we'll go on to read in a minute, it's effective immediately. So either this dude wanted to retire immediately and get out of there, or he was kicked out. I'm not saying anything, you know, I don't know which one it actually is. I'll leave that up to y'all to decide, but I'm just saying. John Riccitiello will retire as President, Chief Executive Officer, Chairman, and a member of the company's Board of Directors, effective immediately. James M. Whitehurst has been appointed Interim Chief Executive Officer, President, and a member of the board. Roloff Botha, Lead Independent Director of the Unity Board, has been appointed Chairman. Mr. Riccitiello will continue to advise Unity to ensure a smooth transition. And then we scroll down a bit for the statement from Mr. Riccitiello, where he says, quote, it's been a privilege to lead Unity for nearly a decade and serve our employees, customers, developers, and partners, all of whom have been instrumental to the company's growth. Mr. Riccitiello said, I look forward to supporting Unity through this transition and following the company's future success, end quote. So again, like I said, I mean, he's out. So there's a lot of things that could be said, but this news show, I like to keep things as objective and just, you know, factual as possible. So I'll just leave it at this. Whether he was thrown out or whether he actually retired doesn't necessarily matter, I guess, because regardless, leadership is going to be changing now over at Unity. So do these Unity developers still need to worry about Unity pulling another stunt like they did? But I mean, you would think Unity would be smart enough not to pull another stunt like that, but we've heard of crazier things in the gaming industry. You know, like companies, you know, making a mistake once and then, you know, seemingly just doing it again and never learning their lesson. So it really is hard to say with Unity. But now that there will be new leadership, maybe we can trust Unity again. Maybe indie developers can go back to it. I'm not really sure. I mean, after the stunt that he pulled last time, it's really hard to say. We'll keep an eye on things, but yeah, I don't know. After that stunt that they pulled last month, it's, I don't know if their reputation can ever truly be redeemed, and I don't know. I feel like long-term this is going to have a pretty negative effect for Unity, no matter who they bring in, no matter what they try to change. I feel like this is one of those things, man, where it's like, it's one of those permanent stains on their reputation. I'm sure there's definitely going to be, you know, like dedicated developers that truly support Unity that are going to continue to develop for it moving forward, but We'll keep eyes on this one. As always, I'll keep you guys updated as soon as we know more, if anything important comes out of this, or if any stories come from Unity, but yeah, just something to keep your eye on, I guess. Anyway, that's all the stories that I have for you guys this week. Now, I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on everything that we talked about? Whether it's all the Sony news and all the stuff that they're putting out between the new streaming services and the new PS5, or the Unity CEO seemingly retiring, maybe thrown out, whatever it is, whatever you're thinking. I definitely love to hear from you guys. But anyway, this is Weekly GCap. New episodes go live every single Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, so if you want to catch them as soon as they go live, well then, now you know when to be here. Anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day and an amazing weekend. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.